The Washington Wizards lose to the New York Knicks in New York City, 134-106. Defense stayed at the hotel. Come on, y'all. Let's talk about it next on Locked On Wizards.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's good, Wizards fans? It's your boy, Brandon Scott again. Your favorite podcast now has a newsletter. Introducing the Locked On Wizards Daily Newsletter, a one-stop shop for the ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign for free at LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com and start your day with an all-new free Locked On Wizards newsletter. And tonight's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. Download the PrizePicks app today and use promo code LockedOnNBA and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed, y'all. PrizePicks, run your game. All right, everybody, let's get back into this. Oh, man, my camera is acting up. So let's see if we can get this back into focus. All right, let's see. My bad, everybody. For some reason, it is out of focus for your boy, man. So let's see if it'll work itself out real quick. Bear with me, guys. I hate to hold up the show, but for some reason, this camera is not helping me out. So let's see. Trying to do all the tricks. Okay. Let's see if we can go ahead and figure this thing out, guys. All right, so let's get in and go get into the episode. Hopefully the camera really figures itself out, guys. My fault on that. As you guys know, electronics aren't always reliable. So let's get into it. All right, the Washington Wizards do drop to the New York Knicks, 134-106 in New York City. And the defense stayed at home, man. Looking at the team stats real quick. A couple stats to look at real quick, guys. Field goal percentage. The Knicks shot 56% from the field. So they shot high percentage shots. They shot good looks, and they capitalized time and time again. All right, something else to look at. 3-point percentage, 50%. They shot 50% from three. Again, they capitalized on good looks, open looks. I mean, they were just draining the three. They were draining all shots. I mean, closeouts, we just were not a good perimeter team tonight, man. And you can really look at the paint. It was a lot better. I mean, if you look at the rebounding numbers, only out rebounded us 49-47, and we actually won the offensive rebound battle. But ball movement was more floor for the Knicks as they out-assisted us 37-23. So looking at top performance for both teams, Jonas Valanciunas led all scores for the Wizards tonight, believe it or not, with 18 points. For the New York Knickerbockers, it was Jalen Brunson with 26 points. Rebounding-wise, Jonas Valanciunas again stepped up with 8 rebounds, including 4 offensive rebounds, and Karl Anthony Towns had 12 rebounds, including 1 offensive rebound. All right, Jordan Poole, 5 assists tonight, leading all Wizards in assists, and Jalen Brunson with 11. Woo! So again, guys, if you're just tuning in, I don't know what's going on with my camera, man. I'm trying to work with it, guys, but like I said, I'm gonna try to get through this episode. I'm switching it on and off to see if somehow it will get back into focus. It's kind of embarrassing, but not fault, guys. All right, so let's get into the team stats real quick, everybody, because like I said, the defense stayed at home. I mean, look at the quarter stats real quick. New York Knicks put 40 points as opposed to our 27 in the first quarter, 33 in the second quarter, 36 in the third quarter, and we actually won the fourth quarter. And a surprising stat today that I learned through Chris Miller and Drew Gooden, we are number 1 in the NBA when it comes to fourth quarter points. So, I mean, if only we could capitalize the first 3 quarters, we are definitely cooking with some grease, man. So, like I said, let's get into some team stats. And again, guys, I know most of you don't care, man, but I really apologize for the camera. So let's get into the starting 5. Jordan Poole tonight, not his best showing in 26 minutes played, 8 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists. Shooting 3 for 7 from the field, 1 for 4 from 3, and 1 for 2 from the charity strike, including 1 turnover. So, I mean, overall, he has had a good season, so I'm not too upset. I'm not going to harp on him too much. Overall, he's had a really good year. And you can argue other factors. I know we're already going to talk about it in the comment section, usage rate and all that, but, we'll see. We'll talk about it. Bob Carrington was a good game from him. This is definitely the offensive performance. Not so much from efficiency overall from the field, but he was efficient from 3. But you definitely like these type of performances from Bob Carrington because it shows confidence, right? Which is key in developing the young talent. 18 points tonight, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. He did shoot 7 for 16 from the field, but 4 for 8 from 3 and 2 turnovers. I do like the 2-point guard backcourt they had with him and Jordan Poole. I think they do kind of, it's not really who's point guard, who's 2 guard. It's just, you see both of them bring the ball up. So I think it's a good combination. We'll see if it is a long-term combination, but I think it's definitely a good combination, man, between him and Poole in the backcourt. Malcolm Brogdon. Now, I'll say this, guys. I wasn't a big fan of the lineup. Starting 3 guards, I don't think I think that was another reason why this game wasn't close. You really didn't have that guy small forward. And at a couple points, man, you had Malcolm Brogdon playing the 4. So I didn't agree with the lineup tonight. Overall, I think that, Brian Keefe has done a good job here in DC, but I think he's got a lot of leeway to kind of put up most of the lineups, try different lineups here and there. But like I said, guys, I wasn't a fan of this lineup. 3 guards is never, it kind of echoes Scott Brooks, if you guys remember that. Raul Neto, my bad. And those 3 guard lineups, I think gives us a lot of us PTSD. So wasn't a fan of it, but you do need to give exposure to Malcolm Brogdon. Come back from injury. He's a guy who's definitely on the trade block. 19 minutes tonight. He's ramping up in minutes. 7 points. He was more productive in this game. 1 rebound, 1 assist, shooting 3 for 5 from the field and over 2 from 3, including 1 for 1 from the charity strike. So again, definitely want to see him bounce back and improve game by game, but I think he will get there because he's that vet in the game. All right, so Kyle Kuzma, efficient. Look, he's more efficient. I mean, if you get anything out of this performance, he was definitely a lot more efficient. But again, not his best showing overall from a scoring perspective. Now, rebounding numbers, I do like. He's definitely very active in the paint, getting rebounds, very active. Definitely sacrifices his body, battling in there in the paint because we need more of that. But 11 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, shooting 5 for 11 from the field, 1 for 3 from 3. All right. And then Alex Sarr, he's ramping it up, guys. 8 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, shooting 4 for 12 from the field and 0 for 4 from 3. So overall, the starting 5, I think that the star of the show is the second unit. And Bob Carrington, good offensive performance, little inefficient overall, but 3-point numbers, shooting 50%. Definitely like to see that. Jordan Poole, not his best game, but we're going to talk about it in the comments because there may be factors that. And Kyle Kuzma, while only 11 points tonight, he a lot of his misses just didn't drop. I will say that, especially in the first half, I saw by 2-3 shots that just didn't drop, man. So, like I said, I think it's not so much, he was efficient. It's just shot just didn't drop tonight. And Alex Sarr, he just needs to find a consistency when it comes to his offensive output, man. I think he will, but this is definitely going to be a lot of growing pains this season with him offensively. Let's get into the second unit, y'all. Corey Kispert, 18 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, shooting 5 for 13 for the field, including 4 for 9 from 3 and 4 for 4 for the charity strike. And he even added a steal in that. This is what I'm talking about, Corey Kispert. This is the time performance we need from him, man. We need him to step up and be that sniper, but also the guy that knows how to move without the basketball, man. The guy that knows how to slash and attack the basket. High basketball IQ guy, man. This is a good performance from Corey Kispert. He usually shines in Madison Square Garden. And, another factor of this nice game, I'll at least be real. I mean, there was a big talent gap. I mean, the New York Knicks are definitely a team that's looking to, definitely make some noise in the Eastern Conference. And there's just a big talent gap. We're very young. We're very raw. We're very unproven. But, again, the defense was a factor tonight. All right, Keyshawn George. Oh, man. 1 point, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 0 for 3 from 3, or 0 for 3 from the field, 0 for 1 from 3, and 1 for 4 from the charity strike. He did contribute a steal and a block, but again, him being reverted to that second unit has hurt him. It has hurt him. And we're not seeing the same performance from Keyshawn like you did before Kyle Kuzma was injured, man. And I'm not going to put it all on Kuz, but let's be real. When Keyshawn George was in the starting lineup, he had better outputs as far as his scoring output. So, like I said, they're looking to showcase a lot of these vets. So you're going to have to play these vets, man, because that's the thing. Before we formally start a youth movement, we've got to start these vets, and we've got to start showcasing these guys and flipping them, and then you can start, formally start that youth movement. Even though I thought, we kind of saw glimpses of it when Kyle Kuzma was down with injury, when you saw Keyshawn George playing the 4 and was in the starting lineup. All right. Jonas Valanciunas, again, when called upon, performs. He performs time and time again. 18 minutes a night, but 18 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 8 for 11 from the field, 2 blocks. He continues to show why he's a very productive veteran who definitely has trade value, and he's been very, very monumental. No pun intended, but he's been monumental as far as really, showing by example to a lot of these young guys, especially Alex Sarr. I mean, he's been productive here in DC. These guys have been in the league 13 years. He continues to be very, very productive. All right, so let's round out the second unit, guys, and then we're gonna get into the ad break and see if I can fix this daggone camera. What's going on, y'all? All right, so Anthony Gill tonight, 14 minutes, 9 points, 3 rebounds. Anthony Gill's that guy where when he plays, he's very productive, but he is probably one of the most important leadership pieces we have on this team. Shooting 4 for 6 from the field, 1 for 1 from 3. Johnny Davis, 8 minutes, 2 points. Jared Butler in garbage time, 4 points. Marvin Bagley, 2 points, and that was all she wrote, everybody. So, like I said, if you narrow down the reason why we lost this game, it had to do with lack of defense, especially on the perimeter, and fluid ball movement by the New York Knicks, man. So, all right, everybody, let's get into comments and start this night off like we always do. But before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. So, what is PrizePicks? PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks. There are many reasons why you should roll with PrizePicks, but I'm going to give you just 3, all right? Rock with your boy. First of all, you can win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. It is that easy. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Think Steph Curry will get more than 4 3-pointers next week? What about Anthony Edwards? More or less than 27 points. Cook up hot takes with your friends and win real money this basketball season when you and your crew run your game on PrizePicks, man. So look, all you have to do is download the app today and use promo code LOCKEDON to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, download the app today and use promo code LOCKEDON to get $50 instant after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. All right, everybody, let's get back into this thing. Like I said, bear with me real quick because I'm going to see. Usually cameras come out of focus. I've never had this issue, man, and I'm like very embarrassed. So give me a minute and see if I can fix this, man, because like I said, definitely appreciate you guys. You guys rock with your boy through rain and shine. And so let's see if we can fix this camera. Hey, look at that. We are cooking with grease, guys. Look at that. Man, let's get it. All right, so guys, let's get into the comment sections. I'm glad the camera's working, man, because it was looking rough for a minute. So I appreciate you guys. All right, so let's get into comments tonight. This sign kicks everything off, guys. What's up, Brandon? This team is unwatchable. Bilal isn't playing. Bad games by everyone other than JV and Brogdon. Brogdon is ramping back up. I think you're going to see the veteran guy. He's a guy who can play. It's just injuries with him, man. But when he plays, he's productive. He's shown it time and time again, whether it's a starter or a former six-man award of the year award winner. So he's a guy when, just give him some time to acclimate, he will figure it out. Jonas Valanciunas, I'm with you. He plays high-level basketball. He is playing. He's been productive when called upon. So he's a guy who definitely leads by example. I think he's definitely a guy who's going to get some value at the trade deadline. Bilal, definitely hope he gets back. I know he had a head injury that he sustained last game, and he sustained a concussion. I know how that is. I've gotten concussions in sports, got concussions in the military, man, and there's nothing to play about, man. So definitely hope the brother's doing all right, man. So give him time to get well, man, because man, concussions are a slippery slope. So definitely want him to get back to 100%. But appreciate you, Design. Vic, how you doing tonight? We are better last year because the veterans are playing, not like this year, all rookies. Yeah, I mean, I thought that we were probably like a 5. We're a better team, probably 5 more wins better. But like I said, I expected more wins would be in the first half. But it is what it is. I mean, I think it's not one reason why this team is 2-11. I mean, I think the rookies, when called upon, have played well. They've had growing pains, which is expected, especially from the 3 draft picks from this year's draft. They're young, looking at Alex R. Very raw offensively. You see the defense with him, and then Bub and Keyshawn George. They just need minutes and opportunities. You see a lot more minutes and opportunities with Bub Carrington. Keyshawn George, I think reverting him back to the second unit has taken a hit to his confidence, and we definitely want to see if we can get his confidence back, man. But there's multiple reasons, man. I mean, we're trying to implement a defensive system where not everybody on the team is a defensive player, and there's a lot of factors. But look, we're heading in the right direction, 2-11. So if you guys really want to be in the hunt for Cooper Flag, we are well on our way there. Let's see. Vic says just trade Poole. I don't know. We'll see, man. Poole looks like he could be a keeper. I don't know, man. But you can also argue, man, with the way he's playing, you'd be a fool if you didn't look to acquire him, in my opinion. He's playing at the all-star level, but hadn't hit his prime yet. So I think he's definitely a keeper, but you could see the opposite scenario, man. A couple of JP fans, Nick, I like JP, man, but don't just slow your roll. It's a business, man. It's the NBA. Don't get mad now. Playoff says, how you doing tonight? B. Scott, I meant to wish you happy belated Veterans Day last week. Hope all is good. Appreciate you. I humbly say thank you for that. It is my pleasure, man, to serve you in this country, man. Like I said, to be able to do that was a blessing on my part because I come from a long line of people who serve their country. And like I said, this job gives me the opportunity to, talk to the fans, to be that link between the organization and the fans, man. So I've been blessed in many ways, man. So like I said, appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that, man. Let's see. Vic says worst team in the NBA. I can't argue with that, right? Let's see. Vic also said just trade all the veterans if this wants to practice all young guys. Oh, and another thing, guys, I'm under the weather a little bit, so I'm gonna cough here and there. So again, with the camera and with the cough, definitely appreciate you guys being loyal to your boy, man, and rocking with me, man, because I think I'm starting to get a chest infection, man. So I definitely need to switch to edibles. All right. Let's see. Plain Opposite says the Knicks shot more than 50% from the three. We can't continue to allow them contesting some of these easy shots in open space. I agree 100%. They shot these shots with ease. Now you can argue, there were some shots where step backs, they did make it a little interesting, but overall, the Knicks were just in a 3-point line. I mean, they were just practicing. I mean, they had a lot of good looks and they capitalized. That's the biggest thing about this game is, if you look at the assist numbers, 37 assists by the Knicks, that tells me that they had fluid ball movement. And if you look at the shooting numbers, that just tells me that defense took a back seat tonight. The defense stayed at the hotel. I don't think they got on the bus because for a team to shoot 56% from the field, including 50% from three, come on now. We've got to close out on shooters, man. We did not do that tonight, so I agree 100%. Bucket Getter, how you doing tonight? One of my JP guys, man. Let's see, 7 shots for Poole, not enough. Can't even compete like that unless someone goes for 30. I agree with you. You definitely, when I look at Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma, they are the 1-2 punch and the 1-2 scoring options. So, you definitely want to see them neck to neck when it comes to shot attempts. And you can argue maybe even a little more for Jordan Poole because he's the point guard, man. He dictates pace, he dictates rhythm, So I agree. Put the ball in his hands, man. But tonight just wasn't our night, man. I mean, there was no energy. And usually when teams play, especially young teams, especially young players, you always want to play well at Madison Square Garden. So the second unit was the star of the show tonight, in my opinion. Excuse me, guys. Playing Opposite says Bub had a great performance. I like that he still has that competitive edge, even while down by around 30 points. Yeah, I agree with that. You see the dog factor with these young guys. I just hope I saw with the veterans, man. And like I said, overall, it wasn't just on the vets. It's just outside of Bub and a few other guys, the energy was out the building, man. Like I said, I think they kind of expected that the game was going to end this way because the New York Knicks are a perennial contending team in the Eastern Conference. Now, are they good enough to challenge with Boston? We'll see, guys, but they are definitely a team that is looking to make some noise in the Eastern Conference and challenge for a top 6 spot, man. Ain't no playing for the Knicks, y'all. So with you on that, let's see. Plain Opposite says there needs to be an internal team meeting to reevaluate and assess the roster and direction moving forward. Guys, there is a plan. Like I said, I totally understand. Look, and I kind of put this post up on X, and I said this for all you married people out there, or married to, and good marriages. I guess if you're in a bad marriage, you ain't gonna understand what I'm saying. But for all you married people, you know that the hardest part of a marriage is the earliest years, man. It's the hardest part. Especially if you don't have prior time living with that person. It's one thing to date somebody, it's another thing to wake up next to that person, smelling their bad breath, hearing that noise every morning. That's where you find true love. It's like that in the rebuild, right? You don't know where you got to go through the struggles, man. And I'm a guy, not everybody feels this way, but I was definitely a proponent for rebuilding. I think it was finally, I felt like it was finally time to rebuild, man, because we sat through so many years where I believe that if 8th seed and playing is your goal, you failed. And they finally made the right move. They got a new front office. They prioritize analytics. They prioritize development. They prioritize, scouting. We're heading in the right direction, man. You see these young guys are ready to roll, man, especially when we start moving on from a lot of these vets. It's going to be youth money. There's going to be a lot more fun to watch. And like I said, it's not on the vets, man. Jonathan Valanciunas stepped up. Corey Kispert stepped up. Jordan Poole, we can say that it's probably not on him. It's not on him tonight. And Kyle Kuzma, I'm not going to harp on him either because I think a lot of his shots were, just didn't get the right balance. Especially in the first half, man. He had a couple of really nice shots, a couple of nice layup attempts that just didn't bounce his way, man. And it happened. So it just went our night, man. I mean, it was a bad night, and it's just, It's just one of those things. You see, let's see. Bucket Given says JP not aggressive tonight. Why can't we run the team like the fourth quarter of the Spurs game? Through Poole with shooters and a big, letting him cook. Why wasn't it like this from day one last season? I agree with you. Man. It's just one of those things. We have a gray area team. We have vets. We have young guys that on one hand, we've got to give minutes to these vets because we have to showcase them for trades, especially now that Malcolm Brogdon is back, because we've got to show that he's healthy and he can be a tradable asset. And same thing, Kyle Kuzma. There's no scenario where Kyle Kuzma gets benched. He's a guy that teams want to see what his scoring output can be, not only as a starter, but potentially, on the second unit. But you're not going to see him in the second year in DC, man. It's just not going to happen unless he totally bombs it. And I think, the biggest thing with Kyle Kuzma is that we all know he's a dog who can play. It's just the biggest thing is efficiency, and that's one of the biggest hits against Kyle Kuzma, man. So, but I agree with you, Bucket Getter. I agree with you, man. I made it known that they should go ahead and give the keys to Poole and let him dictate the pace of the first unit. Let him run the show and go off of that. I agree 100%. Locked on Law. What's good? But before we get into Locked on Law's comment, guys, we're going to get into our last ad break. Tonight's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Get ready to tackle NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. Lord have mercy. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out all the latest stats, view live, play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com to join the day. You can start it with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the National Football League. All right, everybody, let's get back into this thing. Again, appreciate you guys rocking with your boy. And I'm going to try to knock out all the comments, man, but you guys know how it is. So let's see, where was I at? Where you at, Locked on Law? All right, here we go. All right, so Locked on Law says, I'm not even going to waste my time analyzing play this bad. 0 shooting, 0 defense, 0 rebounding, 0 effort. Keith won't be around next season if this continues. I mean, I think they're going to give him some time, to implement the system, man. And I think they're going to get, I think a lot of that has to do with finding the right pieces for the system. Bilau's definitely a keeper, Alex Sarr. But what they're trying to do is establish kind of a two-way team, man. A team where you have shooters who can also defend. And if you look at this year's draft, Alex Sarr has shooting potential, and he's a defensive-minded player. Bub Carrington, he's a dog in the offensive end, but you see the defensive potential with him. He's a dog in the defensive end. Same thing with Keyshawn George. I think they are looking through the analytical way and saying that we're going to build a team based on the modern NBA. So I give it time, man. Like I said, Brian Keefe, I don't think he's the problem. He's got a tough job on his hands, man. Like I said, it's too early to really judge him because, look, you can argue that we still haven't really formally started a rebuild to a certain degree because we still have veteran talent on the team that we need to flip and try to get assets back in return. Now, I made it known and said that I believe the 2025 NBA draft is going to be the finishing touches because I think that the 3 draft picks this year, including, and then when you add that to Bilal Coulibaly, you add that to Tristan Vucevic, Jordan Poole, Sadiq Bey, and Corey Kispert, I think that 2025 could be the finishing touches. And I think we definitely will have a team that could be a young and dangerous team. Now, will the year after next be a playoff team? Nah, I think so. I think the year after that, we could be ramping up for a run, but, it's not going to be a serious run. We are still about 3 years away from a serious attempt at a playoff run. It's all about development. So I get it. And you're completely right. I mean, 0 shooting. I mean, that first quarter was the hardest for me to watch, man, because it was, there were so many bricks, man. I mean, we could have built us a clubhouse to kind of shield our eyes from it, right? The defense didn't even get off the bus, and rebounding continues to be an issue, and the effort showed. And usually, like I said, you look at the history of the association, usually people want to show out in Madison Square Garden. I mean, Madison Square Garden is always that spot where people want to show out, man. That's usually that one test, that one place where you prove who you are as a player, man. I mean, Michael Jordan, that was his favorite place to play. Oh man, sorry guys. Locker Loss says they were down by 30 freaking points for the most of the game. You think letting Poole shoot more is going to make up for that? Sorry guys. I don't know, man. You guys get in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like I said, guys, I definitely apologize. I'm feeling under the weather, man. So I was going to try to make this short tonight, guys, but I'm trying to get these comments out the way. So Again, appreciate you guys for rocking with your boy tonight. But your boy's starting to hurt a little bit. All right, Bucket Getter says, we started Malcolm Brogdon at the 3 for crying out loud. I'm with you. We wouldn't be down by 30 if Poole had balls in his hands. It has ball in his hand. Oh, Lord have mercy. Pause. And Keyshawn George started. Kispert also deserves a start to mix lineups. I'm a roll with you that. I mean, I thought that Kispert was a shoo-in to have started, man. Same thing with Keyshawn George. Like I said, I don't ever like 3-guard lineups. I think that is just a recipe to get smoked. I mean, I don't like 3-guard lineups. I thought, I'm not a fan of 3-guard lineup. I think that if you're intent on showcasing Malcolm Brogdon and you start him, put Bub Carrington on second unit and, bring somebody else to play the 3, whether it's Kispert or Keyshawn George. But you go get a forward, man. I think that was a big reason because, I mean, Anunoby, the list goes on, Josh Hart, they were able to capitalize on wing against us, man. And when you're not showing the effort or the defense and you're running a 3-guard lineup, that's a recipe for disaster, man. Straight up. Bucket Getter also says Bilal's absence is so loud. We miss him on every possession. Even remember back to the preseason, especially on D. I agree his presence was felt. Or not, but his lack of presence, that is, right? It was felt. And tells you where his development is, right? Because last year, with him being out, it's not to say that he wasn't important, but he has shown more what his presence is with taking that step, improving on his game, working his butt off in the all season, where he's becoming more of, that piece for the Wizards. And I think it's a good thing, not good that he's down with the injury, but it's good to see. How do I frame this, guys? Because injury's never a good thing, but it's good to see that we do struggle when he's out the lineup because it's showing that he's become more and more of that player. So if that makes sense to you. Let's see. Locked on Law says you can't blame allowing a team to shoot almost 50% against you on one player being out of the lineup. Yeah, that's a good point too. It's not on Bilal being out, man. This was a team loss. You didn't see the effort. The defense was abysmal. It was hard to watch because they went out there and it was practically a shoot around. Honestly, the Knicks should have just went out there with sweatpants. I mean, you honestly could argue that the Knicks could have went out there with sweatpants, flip-flops, and a white beater and could have beat us, man, because there was no defense. There was no defense, no defensive pressure, and no closeout of shooters, man. So I'm with you on that. Oh, man. The change of seasons are killing me, y'all. Let's see. Gideon says, can we play one game with defensive intensity? Just one. I agree, and I felt like 2 areas should have been better this year. Rebounding and defense. Those are 2 areas I thought we were going to be a better team. And yes, Jonah Valanciunas, when his addition, a lot of people, including myself, thought this was going to be a better rebounding team, but it just hasn't been the case. And defense continues to be an issue. I'm not going to blame Brian Keefe because I think it's half effort. I think it's half, having the right people in the lineup to implement. I think this is still a lineup and still a roster that's in transition. We still got to flip these vets. And when we formally, start that youth movement, then we can start, that's where I'm at, man. I think you're going to see a different situation after the deadline. Alex Ramirez, how you doing, man? Hey, matter of fact, hit me up, man. Hit me up after the video. Curious as to why Bagley doesn't crack the normal rotation. Former number 2 overall pick. It was hooping last year. I agree, bro. Like, I don't see why he doesn't get more minutes. He's another guy where I think he's shown that with the right situation, he can produce. I think we have a better situation for him than he had in Sacramento and in Detroit because he's playing productive basketball when called upon. So I'm definitely intrigued to see if they give him more minutes because he's another guy where if you look at his age, he's a gray area guy, right? He's a guy that, look, he could be a future piece, but he could also be a guy who could be added to a future move in the future at the deadline. So Alex Ramirez says, put your hand on the camera and take it off, by the way. Yeah, I do that, man. I had to unplug it, man. Usually I can just do that, but for some reason tonight, man, the camera wanted to be a little hard-headed, so I had to unplug it, but I appreciate you, man. Yeah, usually I just put it in front of there, man, but I definitely appreciate you, brother. Let's see. Benz, how you doing? I don't mind losing, but at some point, pride got to kick in, and these players need to have mentality that they're not going to let their man score. The defense is trash. I agree 100%. All facts. Here's the thing. We preach culture. I preach culture. I preach culture so much, a lot of you were getting tired of it. And look, you don't see the culture anymore. And, you definitely want to see that fire being lit. And this is where veteran leadership comes in, man. And that's what I'm saying, man. I'm not going to kick a dead horse. I think there's necessary moves need to be made. I think that you showcase the vets and you move them because you saw how good this team could be when they were young. When they rolled a young lineup and, you saw the culture, playing hard, playing to win. But now you see them just out of it, man. No effort tonight. And like I said, of all places, you want to show out in New York City, man, at Mecca, aka Madison Square Garden, because like I said, all the greats show out at Madison Square Garden. So, I mean, for a young guy, you definitely want to put in some work at Madison Square Garden, man, because that's kind of like a baptism by fire in the NBA, where it's kind of like a lot of these courts in New York, or I forget, man. I'm getting old, man. I'm trying to think of the court they have, the famous court out there in Harlem, man. But like I said, New York's one of those places, man, where you kind of is baptism by fire to show you are, man. So very surprised they came out as flat as they did tonight in Madison Square Garden. Bucket Getter says, I left a long comment about the JP hypothetical trade. I hope you look at it. I ran it, but it was my thoughts. I mean, look, brother, you guys know me, man. Look, I get it. I get it. But you need to understand, bro. This is a business, man. And my job is to look at every single angle, man. And and by saying that, I'm looking at everybody on this roster is tradable. There's players I like, absolutely. Jordan Poole, I think he's a good player, an outstanding player, man. But and we can sit here and we can say that he's a future piece, but we don't know what this front office is thinking, man. I mean, they got their own blueprint, they got their own vision, and look, the writing's on the wall. I mean, if he shows enough value and the package is that good, best believe they're gonna move him. I mean, so I get it, man. You're a JP13 guy. I get all that, and that's cool. But you need to understand too that this is a business, man. That everybody, you got to ask yourself, how did JP get here? He got traded, so the likelihood is there. So I get it, man. But in the same token, you need to understand this is a business. Everybody on the roster is tradable outside of the young guys. So, and that's the mentality. That is the ethos in DC right now. Kyle Kuzma's not a long-term piece. The only Valanciunas is going to be gone. Mac is gone. But you could also look at Corey Kispert and Jordan Poole and say, look, I can see a scenario where they get moved. And, I mean, that's just the nature of the beast, man. It is. So I appreciate the passion. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to rock with your boy, man. So, look, man, don't ever apologize for having an opinion, man. Like I said, dialogue is a beautiful thing. Pool Abali, wow, I like the name. Free Pool. Again, you see what I'm saying? Let's see. Joe says Alex R from 3 Vision. Alex R, he's the offense is going to, but it is year one, man. I don't see him being a finished product for at least another couple of years because he's very, very raw. The play style in Australia is a lot different here in the U.S. and there's a lot more finesse as far as stretching the floor. He's definitely a stretch 5. He's got to learn how to be a 5. He's 7'1". He's got to learn how to be a 5. And to me, it's not so much his jump shooting, even though he's too reliant on it, in my opinion. I want to see some progress in the paint. I want to see him play with his back to the basket, some post moves. Because 7'1", man. I mean, even Jaren Jackson Jr. knows how to play with his back to the basket. I mean, the NBA, you've got to be versatile. That means you got to be able to fit every play style. At 7'1" in the center, you got to be able to stretch the floor and be able to go in there and battle out in the paint. And he will get there. I have nothing but confidence in not only Brian Keefe and the developmental staff he's got, man, but Alex Sard has shown that he's ready to work, man. From my time talking to him, he's a young, humble dude who knows he's got to put in work to really prove, that number 2 overall spot, man. So, best believe he definitely knows he's got some work to do. Locked and Law says number 1 in garbage time points when games are out of reach. Big deal. I mean, yeah. I mean, look, that's why we love you, Locked and Law, man, because you definitely saying what a lot of people think, man. I mean, it is what it is. Yeah. I mean, number 1 in fourth quarter points is practically what it is, but we want to see what they can do the first 3 quarters, man. So I'm with you on that. Ben says the way your camera got you looking is what the Wizards must be seeing play defense because they can't see nothing. I mean, yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, the defense stayed at the hotel room tonight, man. I mean, they didn't get on the bus, man. So I'm with you on that. Sees Alex Ramirez says, poor Alex R. Couldn't defend Cat. Hope he catches on by next year. Well, you know what? That's the type of people I want him to guard because that's a modern day center. Cat is probably one of the best, stretch 5 bigs. And he's a guy who can also play with his back to the basket. I mean, Cat showed how versatile he is and how swift he is at the center position. Cat's a baller, man. Like I said, I think for the Knicks, not that I care too much because I'm a Wizards fan, but as an NBA fan, I think that was a good move by the Knicks because they got a nice squad, man. They got a nice squad. I mean, Cat, I was always thinking how long would him and Rudy Gobert really going to coexist? And I thought that with how much they gave up for Rudy Gobert, it was just a matter of time before they moved on from Cat. So hopefully he gets that chip, man. Hopefully he finds the right situation, whether it's in New York or somewhere else. But like I said, I think he's going to definitely play well in New York City. All right, says Bucket Getter says, you are right. Team D has been atrocious. It's not on Keyshawn not starting. I want to see Keith make some adjustments. I am going to work with him developing this year himself, but I want to see improvement. I agree. Fair enough. I get you. And it's not to say that I'm not saying that Brian Keith is not auditioning. Look, everybody, he, when you look at his resume as a development coach, it was as an assistant coach. Yeah, he still has to prove that he can do, fulfill his job as head coach. But like I said, I was one of the biggest advocates for him getting the job. And and the reason for that is that I think he can do the job. Now, long term, I think the ball's all in his court, man. So like I said, you are 100% right. Everybody's auditioning for the future. So I'm with you on that. The Bucket Getter also says, watch your head, Coos. Good Lord. Let's see. Invalid, how you doing? Alex R is less offensively polished than I expected. Yeah, I expected him to average around 10 points per game, but I didn't expect him to shoot less than 40% in the system. Yeah, he's very raw. I think the biggest thing to expect this year, honestly, is his rim protection. Just for him to develop a lot of those good habits in the paint, learning how to be a 7'1" center, not so much relying on being a perimeter guy, man. Get in the paint, get nasty, get some rebounds, get some boards, show some aggression. And look, y'all, man, we might have to go, pick my boy up, man, and drop him off at Berry Farms again, man, because we want to see some aggression, man. I want to see some more aggression, Alex R. Because once he shows some dog, Bob Carrington, man, if you watch it, look, let's get some dog in this man. I mean, come on, man, we gotta get some dog in Alex R, because with some aggression, I think he's definitely going to be that guy going forward, because he's got to get in there. 7'1", man. He's got to gain about 5-10 pounds of muscle, and he's got to be able to get in there and fight in the paint, man. 7'1", you can't be hanging out on the perimeter the whole game. He's got to learn to be a center if he wants to be the future center of this franchise. He has to be, and is not sitting at the top of the key or in the corner. He's got to get in the paint and put in some work, man. Let's see, Joshua Clark, how you doing? My boy Anthony Gill needs 1 minute. Dude has heart and can score a little bit. I just bought his City Edition jersey for when it comes to LA to play. Oh, okay, you out of LA, man? That's another city, man, where the food scene is on point, man. So I've been watching LA Try Guy, man. I believe that's his name. He's a food guy, man. There's a lot of good food out there in LA, man. So let your boy know, man, where to go. But I agree. I actually bought the new City Edition too. I got my first Be Cool jersey, man, Bilal Coulibaly. So, and I think that I gotta let you guys know, but I think the new ones, I think they either come out December 1st or New Year's. So I got to double check, and I'll put it out on X and YouTube, but they should be coming out for sale too. And I'm going to give me one of those. I might have to give me another JB13, man. Let's see. But I don't know. You guys let me know, man. Should I go ahead and go get an Alex R, or what should be the next player after Be Cool of what jersey I buy, man? That is a general question I want to know from you guys, man. Joshua Clark also says at this point, plug in Patrick Baldwin Jr. to the starting lineup. It won't hurt anything. Dude has some potential. Oh, he definitely has potential, man. But I honestly see him as being a guy who is going to be part of it. A salary filler is part of a trade. The fact that they declined him and Johnny Davis's, their options for next year. But it's not to say they shouldn't play them. They should definitely showcase them because, definitely want to drive their trade value up. So I agree with that. Let's see. Lock the law. Since the Wizards' lack of focus is so contagious, it's gotten to Brandon's camera. I mean, you on the road tonight, brother, but I like it. I dig it. All right, let's see. Ron Catalico, how you doing tonight? We're expected to clean out our roster on trade deadline. Brandon, my hero. I appreciate it, man. Like I said, I'm just a regular dude, man, but I appreciate you. Definitely appreciate you. Let's see. Pool Bali says trade Pool for his sake. Look, he's put in the work. And that's what I'm saying. I know this kind of 50-50, and I get in, and it's not a bad thing. It's 50-50, man. It's a beautiful thing about dialogue and having an opinion. Like I said, I can see, because the reason I brought that up for my guy, Bucket Getter, because I know you're very passionate about Jordan Poole being in trade rooms, man. Because there's some noise around the league, man. There's some noise around the league about Jordan Poole. So you could see a scenario where he might be traded before Kyle Kuzma, because right now teams see Jordan Poole, him putting the work in, him playing at all-star level. So, you got to look at it like this, kind of like from a player's perspective. Not all players get upset when they're in trade talks, because it tells them what? The people want them. It's not that the Wizards don't want them, because he's very popular, not only in DC, but in the organization, but people want his services. So not every player really takes that personally. And I don't think you should take that personally either, man, because people want him. You know, I think if you are a Jordan Poole fan, you got to be kind of motivated by that because you don't want to see a scenario where everybody's down on him like last year. The fact that people want him, saying that he has value, that's saying that people are doing exactly what you want them to do as a Poole fan, which is they're seeing his potential. So that's kind of the way I look at it, man. Alex Ramirez says, just realized your name is Poole Bali. I love it, bro. I'm with you on that. I love the name. All right, guys, we're about 40 minutes, so I'm gonna try to do 5 more comments, man. Like I said, the next game this week is on Friday, so obviously the preview is going to be on Thursday, but Wednesday, we will be doing a mailbag episode, so I'm gonna put it out on X and on here on YouTube, and I'm gonna be taking tomorrow off, guys, because like I said, I'm fighting a chest infection. I just got over a 24-hour flu. It's a combination between the seasons changing here in the DMV and having kids, because them kids bring some stuff home all the time, man. So like I said, I went from a 24-hour flu this weekend, man, to now I'm fighting a chest infection, man. So I probably will be taking tomorrow night off, guys, but appreciate you guys. 77 Eco 84 says, or 77 Dan 7 Ico 84. How you doing tonight? I understand the rebuild, but sometimes we seem to not have fight. Yeah, I agree. Why is Bagley playing? Go ahead with Poole, Bub, Blau, Sar, and JB. I agree. You want to see more fight. You know, you definitely want to see more fight. You know, yes, rebuilding, yes, for young players, but culture is the first step, man. The culture of playing hard, playing to win. Poole Bali says, let's give a round of applause for the 2040 NBA champions, the Washington Wizards. Good Lord. Honestly, guys, when do I realistically see this team being a playoff team? Now, I made it known that I truly believe that we have the young core in place. We add Cooper Flagg or Ace Bailey or Dylan Harper, or there's other talent. And there's rumors that they might want to trade back into the lottery with this draft coming up, which if Will Dawkins does that, Lord have mercy. Give this man a daggone statue. But 2025 to me would be the finishing touches. Now, you can say the 2026 draft, but if you want to see progression, we're probably not going to be in the run for no one overall pick in 2026. Because I think if you add a player like Cooper Flagg to this young core, so realistically, let's see. We're not going to do anything on 25, 26, and then 26, 27. So I realistically could see us making a run in the 2028, 2029 season. I can see us making a run in the Eastern Conference. And it really depending on future moves, you know, adding that one veteran piece, that one star piece to add to this roster, man. But I think that the 2028, 2029 season, or maybe the one after that, could be the time when we are a playoff team, in my opinion. Because I think these young guys, man, if one thing, if we can all agree on one thing, we have hit on these draft picks. Now, Tristan Vucevic, definitely want to see him get some playing time. I think he's a very talented young man. His situation too, you know, being a two-way guy, second-round pick, you know, now he's down with an injury. Definitely want to see him because this is the first time we've had a second-round pick that was productive. And you haven't seen him at all this year. So definitely after the deadline, I want to see him get a lot more minutes and really showcase what he can do, man. Dan 7 Ico 84 says Kuz for Kuminga, let's make it happen, or Kuz for Jarris Walker. Like, man, I cared, you know, I've mentioned both of them in previous videos. Jonathan Kuminga on this team after 2025 NBA draft, we're better. We're ready at that point, in my opinion. Kuminga's a dog. Now, the only thing that really holds that up is, and I don't think that the Golden State's gonna be hesitant to move him, but I think that what is he going to command in the offseason for salary? Because he will be a restricted free agent at the end of the year, and has been known to, you know, he's looking for a max contract. And we all know anytime you see max contract in the nation's cap, usually you get a little twitch, man, because of PTSD. So, like I said, it really depends on the asking price as far as salary. I think that's one thing that really keeps teams from getting Kuminga, because he's a dog defensively. Oh man, messing up. Defensively and offensively, man, a lot better, man. He is a dog. Jarris Walker is another guy who I think could be really good here in the nation's cap. And that would be weird because we actually drafted him and we traded him to Indiana as part of the Bilal Coulibaly trade. Box Attack. And please tell me, man, am I saying it right? I hate to butcher names, man. He says, back to regular scheduled programming. Wish we could have beat the bum Pistons last night. Yeah, you know, you never want to be that team. So let's see. Coulibaly says trade Kuz just because. I think we all know where your head's at. Let's see. Dan 7 Ico 84 says send JV to the Lakers for JHS. Oh, I'm with you on that. And some picks and Brogdon. Well, I don't know what do you think, Brandon? That is a good trade. Jonas Valanciunas to the Lakers. If I'm going to try to send JV to the LA, I'm going to ask for the 2029 first. But would they be willing to add Shafino? Hood Schifino, that's a good question, man. You might have to add another player. But look, I think that's a good deal for a young team. 2029 first round pick and Jalen Hood Schifino. I'll take that move, man. So you're probably looking at, like I said, just for you, man. Just for you, Wednesday night, I'm going to go over trades for the Lakers and JV. So we're going to see what would be the best fit, man. But I'm with you. A couple players to the Lakers because they need players, man. They need players to help them, compete in the West, man. So you could probably get away with, Malcolm Brogdon. I'm going to take a look at their point guard situation. And Wednesday, we're going to talk a lot more about it. But, man, not too shabby because I'm a big fan of Jalen Hood Schifino. And, look, I think we could get that 2029 first-round pick. Now, if I'm the Lakers, honestly, I'm not giving it up because at some point you have to rebuild. And Anthony Davis, at this point, is not the guy you build around anymore. Once LeBron retires, and after that, and that's another question really about the Lakers. Do they actually ever really rebuild? I mean, because it's LA, it's the Lakers, and they're expected to be, you had those Smush Parker years with Kobe Bryant, but what did they do? They went out there and got Paul Gasol. So even if they rebuild, they're not going to rebuild for long in LA. So guys, like I said, I hate to miss on anybody's comment, man. So I'm gonna try to do like 3 more, guys. Like I said, I like kicking it with you guys, man, but your boy got laid down, man, because I ain't feeling too hot, guys. But again, appreciate you guys, man. Ben says this team don't get Brandon sick. Shaking my head. It's all good, man. So, man, I'm telling you, man, it is the change of season, man. And kids, I love my kids to death, man. But for some reason, kids carry stuff from school. Good Lord, man. Oh, Locked on Law. Feedback. I like it. Stop wasting time with these bull squat fancy trades that will never happen. Fair enough. All right. In response to that, Wednesday night, we're going to go over the trade in the LA. But I appreciate the passion, man. Let's see, guys. A few more comments, everybody. See, I don't want to miss out on anybody. A lot of comments, man. So, all right, guys, I'm going to do one more, but definitely, we're going to do a mailbag on Wednesday night, man. We're going to take a look at some trade scenarios, man. So I definitely want to answer a lot of your questions, guys, because we are at the 46-minute mark. So we're going to go ahead and call it a night, guys. I hate to miss any comments. Definitely appreciate you guys rocking with your boy tonight, man. The Wizards lose to the Knicks, 134-106. Look, trust the process, guys. It ain't pretty. It ain't always easy to watch, and it's going to take time, man. But like I said, any good relationship requires the painful early years, man. So like I said, keep the faith, guys. Trust the process. We will get there, man. So like I said, I will not see you guys tomorrow night. Like I said, and then I'm get over this chest infection. I just need 24 hours, guys. So again, I will see you guys on Wednesday night. We're going to do a mailbag and look at some trade scenarios. Just what Locked on Law wants, man. So like I said, we got you, bro. We definitely got you. So all right, guys. Again, appreciate you guys taking time out of your night to rock with your boy as usual. And again, we will be doing mailbag on Wednesday night. Thursday night, we're going to do a preview and cover some other content. And Friday, we play the defending NBA champion, Boston Celtics. So again, we will be definitely going live on Friday night. All right, everybody. Hail to the Wizards and peace. See you, everybody. Have a good night.